it was interesting. Kyle Brandt said that this draft the story of it is that it's unpredictable.
We've heard that from a few people.
Right. To me, the story of this draft is the quarterbacks. Every draft is about the quarterbacks. Every draft is about the quarterback. It's a quarterback-driven league. And thus the draft is always driven by quarterbacks. And you could say, what are you talking about, Rich? Your top 10 doesn't even have one. Yes, that's correct.
And that's the point.
That's the point.
Right.
Normally it's filled with them. And I guess if we were doing a what's more likely, Chris, if I had to ask of what's more likely about this draft, what's more likely? That there are no quarterbacks taken in the top 10 or there are 3 quarterbacks taken in the first round? And the answer to that would be, I think both is going to happen. If I had to predict, I would say there's 3 quarterbacks taken in the first round and there'll be none in the top 10. Because you'll see teams trade back in to get that 5th year of contractual control. Again, the Chiefs have 2 first-round picks, 29th and 30th. If one of these quarterbacks like Corral or Howell or Ritter or Willis is still on the board or Pickett is still on the board, who's not coming in and calling Brett Veach up and say, let's talk? We'll take 29, we'll take 30, because it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? If I'm the Chiefs, I'll give up 30, and you'll take 30 because it's as good as 29. It's not like the Chiefs are going to use the 29th pick on the quarterback you want, right? The Bengals at 31. Why wouldn't the Bengals say, okay, we got our quarterback. You want to come in? We'll take more picks. Mm-hmm. There's the Lions at 32, and you got to go before the Lions at 32 because the Lions at 32 are going to might pull the trigger on it.
Take one,
right?
Yeah.
So I think that's going to happen.
That'd be a nice Spencer Ritter spot.
Because we've kind of dig him. We like him. Yeah. You know, we're of that mindset of right. We're also of the mindset that he's won. Right. We heard from Sauce Gardner in the first hour of the show. It's another reason why to love Sauce Gardner is the guy's a winner. He's part of a program that's won. Now, the team that could bust this whole thing of definitely not going to be a top 10 quarterback, the team that could bust it up is Carolina. Now, Carolina's an interesting scenario here because they have the 6th overall selection, which might be too high for one of these folks. And they don't have the option of using any draft capital for this year to get back into the first round. Because their next pick after the 6th overall pick is not until round 4.
Ooh.
Smoke them if you got them. No seconds, no thirds after their pick, the 6th overall pick. Carolina's next pick isn't until round 4. All the way, it's a compensatory pick, 137th overall. So it's not even a high 4th rounder. Their 4th rounder, 111th overall, belongs to the Jets. That's probably the Sam Darnold trade, if I had to guess. So what's Carolina going to do? If they like the guy, they got to use him at 6. They can use draft capital from next year to get back into the first round this year. That's possible. So Scott Fitterer, their general manager, was asked this question about the quarterback situation. And my colleague Cameron Wolf tweeted about it, saying that they like a couple quarterbacks that would feel comfortable taking at number 6. He also noted there's 3 or 4 teams he's heard from that are serious about trading up to 6. I don't know if it's for a quarterback. And they probably would like to trade out of 6. They need more. Like I just told
picks.
You. Unless you don't F them picks.
Yeah, but if you could trade out of 6, move down in the first round and pick up a 3rd, I think you do that.
Can you put that back up there one more time, Chris? Because Mike, because there's another line as well at the last part of that's interesting. Panthers would love to get more picks and trade back if their must-have prospects are gone. I don't know who's their must-have prospects that could be gone, because I think they'll take an offensive lineman if they're available. That's who I'm putting in my mock. A defensive end, like. Is Kayvon Thibodeau not one of their must-have prospects? Is Charles Cross not one of their must-have prospects? I don't know who would be gone after 5, 6. So just some food for thought. I asked Jack Andrade, my NFL Network research colleague, who will be next to me at the draft off camera. I asked him, I want the longest drafts have gone without a quarterback being taken. Top 5, top 10, top 15. The last time none were in the top 5, 10, or 15 in a draft was 2013 when E.J. Manuel was the first off the board at 16, which is not the best indication of how good the quarterback draft is going to be this year if that's how long it goes. That may be a fair or unfair assumption. That's up to you. None in the top 20. The last time there were none in the top 20. 1997. There were none in the top 25 that year. Steve Mariucci finally ended that streak by taking Druckenmiller, 26th overall. The last time none were in the first round, 1996, when Tony Banks went to the Rams in the second round, 42nd overall. The longest it's ever been for a quarterback to be selected in the draft. Could you imagine if this happens here? 76th overall in the third round when the Colts took Chris Chandler in 1988 then. Those are your benchmarks for a draft that we've been talking about for months that is not a quarterback draft and might not have one taken at the top. Of course, the Chris Brockman, TJ Jefferson, Randolph, and Mortimer Duke bet times 20 as to whether Kenny Pickett's a top 5 pick in this year's draft. We'll get the answer to that in a couple days. Brockman says yes.
Top 5
TJ said no. I think you're going to get the $20, TJ.
I'm thinking so.
And it's in terms of, whether the picks matter or not. I guess we'll find out one day. The Rams don't pick until 104th overall.
Oh, my goodness.
Third round. It's the second comp pick that they got for the Lions, hiring Brad Holmes as the general manager last year. The longest a defending Super Bowl champ has ever gone without selecting a pick in the NFL draft was your 2017 New England Patriots, Chris, when they took Derek Rivers, 83rd overall. That's the latest pick by the reigning Super Bowl champs ever. Just food for thought as I head out the door. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.